Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. Today we're headed back underwater. We're going to go watch how bass interact with jigs. We're going to throw a variety of different jigs at different bass and watch their behavior. See if color matters, see if the style of jig matters. There's all sorts of information we can glean from underwater, so come along. We recently did a jig video where we covered all the different styles that we have confidence in for spring bass fishing. We talked about the styles, what they were for, the best trailers, the best colors. If you missed that video, we'll link it down in the video description. What we're doing today is taking those exact jigs that we talked about and we're taking them underwater. What we'll do is we'll head underwater now. We're going to watch different bass interact with those different jigs. We want to see what makes them bite. Does a fish bite when it's sitting still? Does it bite when a bait hops up off the bottom? Do they seem to like one trailer over another? Take note of the subtle differences, and then after the footage is over, we'll circle back around and I'll give you some of my thoughts. Well, what did you think? Did you enjoy that footage? Now down in the video description, we'll link you all the different baits along with the trailers as well as all of the colors. If you want to get into jig fishing, if you don't have confidence in it before now, or if you didn't have confidence before now, we'll link the rods, the reels, everything that we use so that you can fish with confidence. It is amazing how aggressively those bass target those jigs. A jig can imitate all sorts of things. It can look like a crawdad, it can look like a bluegill, it can look like a bait fish. It all depends on how you're fishing that bait, how you're presenting it to those fish. But the fish across the board are really aggressive with a jig. Now, something interesting that I've noticed is that when you fish the baits slower, the bass tend, sometimes they get the whole thing anyway, but they tend to short strike it a little bit more. Sometimes they'll grab the back end and then they'll suck it all the way in, or they'll grab their back end and then spit it out. But if you're more aggressive, working that bait, hopping it up off the bottom, they tend, when it's falling back to bottom, to just inhale the whole thing. And it doesn't matter the size of the jig. It can be a little tiny finesse jig, a great big pitchin jig, anywhere in between. They just engulf it when it's free falling. There's something about that hopping motion that just gets that vicious strike out of those fish. Keep that in mind when you're out there fishing. If you've watched any of our jig videos, you know that there's a time and a place to just drag a jig, to shake a jig, but my personal absolute favorite way to fish a jig is that double hop. Well, in this video, I think you're seeing some of why that is. You pop that bait up, first hop it jumps up, second hop it takes off, and those fish lash out and just vacuum that thing up. It is amazing how aggressive a bass will be with a jig. Now, a jig tends to get a few less bites than a Texas rig or a worm, but it gets really quality bites. When you come across a giant bass, they're more likely to eat a jig than one of those other techniques. So a jig is always worth the time. Again, down in the video description, we'll link you the exact baits, colors, and equipment. Hopefully you learned something from this video. If you did, let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear your takeaways from this underwater footage. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you know when new videos are coming. We do 3 videos a week, but we also add in a lot of 4th and 5th bonus videos. You won't even know about them if you're just going off our standard schedule. So turn on those notifications. Guys, we appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.